Good day to all. This is a trial of Subnautica Hardcore Below Zero. If you like the video, I'll record a sequel because my character is still alive. I suggest you do not hesitate and start watching the video. Enjoy watching it. The first day, I logged into the game and immediately clicked Start and Hardcore. I'll say right away that I had no experience in Subnautica Below Zero. I had experience only in ordinary communication, which is why I didn't know what to look for or where to look at all. But it all starts in some kind of shuttle from where we fly to the planet. But having successfully fucked into a meteorite, we fall to the island of death. We kick down the door and climb out of the capsule, take a small bag, and we look at the strange flowers. As I realized, you can't look at them for long. After which I ran to the water, dived, and was shocked at how beautiful it all looks. The cold terrain and all this environment makes you fully immerse yourself in the game. I went into the capsule and began to look at the crafts to understand that there were few crafts, which is why I just went. I understood that initially, I had to make scanners and study the glider. Otherwise, death on hardcore would be close. I swam, mined limestone quartz, and surfaced to breathe. I surfaced once and saw strange creatures that turned out to be a penguin wing. They are not very dangerous creatures, but if you kidnap their child, they can give a flop. I wanted to take one of them into my capsule, but the game did not provide such an opportunity, so I had to continue to extract resources. I arrived in the capsule and made a battery, after which I made a scanner and went to look for the drawings of the glider. I also got fish for food and water. I was glad that there are bubbles in this part of the game, because it means that there will always be water, and so I found the first piece of the glider, immediately scanned it. I continued to search for other parts of it. 10 minutes later, I found the second piece of the glider, which is great. It remains to find the last piece of the glider. There will be a spider once again inspecting the craft, and I realized that I need to look for algae, or rather its bunches, because rubber is made from bunches of algae seeds. Rubber is needed to craft a knife with it. I can make an oxygen tank, which is why I was able to sink lower and swim longer. I put down the resources and returned home to the floor for algae fibers and made a net that his window, and then the carbon balloon, and also made rubber on the fins to move faster. After I went to look for the last piece of the glider, I found it for a day or two and immediately began to extract all the necessary resources for crafting it in 10 minutes. The glider, I already had it. You can move much faster with it, and I went to farm resources again. After that, I decided to carefully inspect Wreck Island from where I originally started, and for good reason. I realized that these plants can warm my ass on land, and I also found more food and water. This finding was encouraging. I saw that you can take snow, but not much yet. I understand why it seems like the snow doesn't do anything to these flowers. Having given up on the snow, I went on to get lost, realized that there was nothing else on the island, sailed away from there, returned to the capsule, and thought about what might be needed in the future. Made a first aid kit in case I didn't notice any sudden damage, and went to the tag that appeared after the dialogue. There I found some kind of mineral detector. I don't really understand why it's needed yet, but it will come in handy. Well, I didn't forget to pick up the radio lighthouse. There was a cave next to this platform where I successfully decided to swim, and there the loving kamikazes from the first part already successfully gave me a fuck. I went home, and for a long time I couldn't understand why crystal sulfur was needed for a repair tool, because it is one of the most difficult resources to extract. I noted that I would need to craft further, namely a compass, a repair tool, and a set of wires for 3 days. Then I tried to understand how the mineral detector works. I didn't fucking understand how to use it and scored algae on it, but a monkey caught fire with me. I didn't know if it was causing damage or not, which is why I blew it out of there. And yet, I don't understand how this mineral detector works. I landed on a strange platform on which, by the way, I didn't find anything. I realized that the sea monkey was stupid. My knife steals. I decided to make a mess of it, but I never killed her. She turned out to be too tenacious. In the future, our plant will be able to surface less often. At first, I thought that it replenishes oxygen to the maximum, but no, I will swim to the location. Winding bridges, which was very deep. I threw a lighthouse with the appropriate name there and sailed to look for parts of the Guider transport collector. Of course, it's good, but it won't save leviathans. Day 4, I forgot to go to a large cave where I almost died, but fortunately there were plants with oxygen, and also Guider sat down. I already thought, well, that's the minus of survival, but I stopped to the exit of it and somehow fell out. After which my priests made a battery and resurrected the glider at night on winding bridges in the hope of finding the remaining pieces of the collector of transport. Of course, I would have to swim deeper to find it all. While I was looking, I managed to find a plant from Oxygen Day 5 at the corridor show. I found several useful drawings and a builder near it, as well as a window when I said Casa Gate. I found a fragment of a new transport, namely a Mariner, and took this with data. After I went to farm on a high-capacity cylinder, which I also found near the corridor. I also found a new fish that freezes and interferes. The way to go is a crazy fish. In fact, I would not like to see it all the time, especially when I have little oxygen. So that everything that was missing returned and made a balloon. Well, now you can dive lower. There is still a rebreather to make and everything will be fine. But also my plans were to build a house. First of all, it would serve me as a warehouse, and I wouldn't have to travel 500 meters by capsule. Well, I haven't decided where it will be yet. I'll think about it again. Swimming for resources this time I had to find gold and corals. A new one appeared. The mark on the map was Delta Base. I didn't know what it was, and it was far away. I decided to go there when the Mariner would be there after hearing a terrible sound that made me quickly rush to the capsule. I didn't even understand where it came from. When I returned to the capsule, I didn't know what could be done in it because I needed gold at the bottom, which I hadn't seen in 20 minutes. I swam on in order to find at least one gold. Well, no matter how I searched for it, I just couldn't find it. Well, I couldn't find it. I swam for 30 minutes in search of it and couldn't even find the mineral finder. It didn't help with this task. I didn't even know where it might be. Day 6. I returned home empty-handed and decided to make a vault. Otherwise, there was nowhere to put the resources, and then I sailed again to look for gold. I already thought that the ledge of Argentina would be well. I didn't find gold there, but there was a lot of silver, and I still didn't find gold. The curse was kind of fucking, but I found alien things and swam along them. I swam into a cave where I found head crabs and cubes. After walking a little further, I saw a huge cube. Scanned it, went to the panel, and successfully completed everything. Alan, Day 7 came into your head, and after such events, I went to look for fucking gold. And of course, the sharks couldn't help but gag on me, but thanks to them, I found a whole bunch of gold. You can't imagine how glad I was to find it. I wanted to fill my entire inventory with it, but I couldn't find more than 4 pieces, because why are you happy? And put up a lighthouse for Dad, so as not to lose your place. Then I returned home and he decided to talk. But I didn't fucking understand, because I didn't turn on the subtitles. Well, the main thing was that I had gold from microchips. I didn't need more. I made a rebreather and a couple of useful things to create a sailor, and after that, I served all the excess in the storage and went to extract resources to dump the transport and the Mariner. And by nightfall I had a Mariner on the 8th day. At first, I did not understand where to go to swim on it. I think I need to make a separate door. But then I realized there is a ladder inside and climbed through the roof. Then I immediately swam to the station, Delta. Having sailed there, I scanned the coffee machine, damaged the bench, the lighting mother, and went on to explore the island. There were flowers, heaters, and there I saw a lighthouse, which I immediately followed along the way. I found some crystal in sulfur. A crab fucked me there. It turned out to be a woman. I was shocked that there was someone alive in Subnautica besides me, but she looked alive. After that, I went to the nearest building there, scanned a lot of salt room, a jukebox, a cabinet, a bar table, an office chair, a rack, a shelf, a map of the altar complex, a sign for Fred and Jeremy's bed, a modification station, also spun glasses and another shelf, scanned a chair, posters, then also the house next door was also completely covered. There was Emmanuel's bed, a director's desk, rope balls, an aquarium, and a plaque to the table, but also 2 pots and an observatory. Then I went to the lighthouse. I fell down the stairs and saw that I needed a test mode module for the lighthouse, took a PDA and left there. I didn't find anything useful on this base anymore. Saw an acid bath, of course. I climbed into this fryer. I'm not dead, so you can splash around in it to keep warm. It's good. Returned to the sailor and went home. On the way I came across a screaming the bastard Cryptosuchus is already at home. I was deciding what I would need to build a house. I took a bunch of titanium and Dad to arrange a house. Where do you think I decided to do it? Right in the winding bridges at the cave. I made a room in gold and realized that I needed a hatch. quartz and I'll swim home for quartz and other resources. I returned to the house and immediately finished the hatch. I climbed into the house and ran to arrange a bioreactor. I put some mushrooms in there. I was on my way and went to arrange other useful things in the house with music. Everything is much more fun. Well, you just listen to this and place music.
It plays music so that I have something to listen to.
And so I put the whole jukebox the house was rocking, and so was I. Then I had to think about cabinets and other useful things day 9. As it turned out, diamonds were needed for the modification station. I didn't have that, and that was another of my main tasks. I hope there won't be a situation like gold mining after Dad. I saw a depression in the bridges and swam there and found diamonds. Fuck it, I thought, and pretty much returned home to make a modification station. I'll finish the station. I made a scanning room and realized that without an interface chip, I don't fucking need it. And where to look for magnetite? I do not know why the construction stopped, but that's it. Yes, as you can see, I'm not dead, so there may well be a sequel if I see that you are interested in it and we get 15 likes on the video. The figure is small. Well, understand that such videos are not made in 10 minutes and sometimes even not in a day, so please support this video with a like if you like this format, and thank you for watching this video to the end. Good luck to all and bye.
Looks like we've come to the end of the road. There's no point in running away now. I'd rather sleep until the storm is gone. She'd rather be shooting at me now. I know it will